Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining me for another one. Today is going to be chest day. I floated the idea of driving a little bit farther to a different Anytime Fitness, but I think I'm just going to go to my home gym. Last time I did chest day, I did it at a gym near my work, and I used a few different machines, and I just don't think my shoulder health is ready to mix it up too much, so I'm sticking to the same routine. So there's spoiler alert, this is probably exactly what I'm going to do, but you never know, because sometimes the gym is crowded and you just can't do exactly what you want to do. That's why it's important, very important, to have a bunch of different exercises at your disposal. But I'm figuring I'm going to warm up my rotator cuff. I always do that. Went way too long without doing that, and I'm paying for it, but we're fixing that right now. And then after I warm up my rotator cuff, I'm going to do some cable presses, followed by some machine bench press, and finish it off with some body weight dips. Sounds good to me. And if I'm feeling good enough, maybe I'll throw in some cable flies. Crazier things have happened, right? But yeah, guys, I'm staying disciplined. I'm staying the course. Results have slowed down a little bit, but I know who's at fault for that. It's this guy right here. So if you have like a goal, whether it's in bodybuilding or whether it's in something else, you have to take inventory of what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And, slowly eliminate the stuff that you're doing wrong and do more of what you're doing right. It sounds kind of silly, but when you hear it, it makes you think a little bit. And I think that's a valuable thing. But yeah, thanks for joining me again. Chest day is, I think they're all my favorite. I know everybody has a favorite day, a favorite muscle to work out. I do really enjoy working out legs. I think I like the challenge. I think I like the fact that, not that I necessarily like the fact that people struggle with it. I just know if there's something people struggle with and I nail it, excuse me. If there's something people struggle with and I nail it, then, that's going to propel me in the right direction. It's like when you're getting really tired, and that's when most people quit. Like you're getting so tired, all the thoughts in your mind are like quit. And that's exactly when most people do quit. If you can realize that that's what's going to separate you from the crowd, separate you from being good to being great, then, if you really understand that, it's going to help you push through those situations like that. Like, I know it'd be beneficial for me to take rest days. I'm completely aware of that. But going to the gym every day, sometimes I'm a little bit tired. And I will take a rest day if I'm completely fatigued. But a lot of times when I push through that initial fatigue, I'm happy I did. Most of the time, I'm happy I did. I've had some of my best workouts when I thought about skipping the gym. So, I don't know. It's just my mindset. The nutrition, man, I've been struggling with that for a couple weeks, guys. I had to work at a different store job, and I guess I just kind of use it as an excuse to overeat. Like, I can't take my lunch, I'll just go to this restaurant or that restaurant. And that kind of cascaded into me cheating on my diet a lot. My weight has stayed pretty even for the most part, but it's stalling my progress to where I'm trying to do a little bit of a cut. Like, I haven't committed to a serious cut since I did my 30-day shred about 6 months ago. But I don't know. Switch lanes. But if you can push through some of that fatigue, I think it's going to take you a long way. I gotta think of more talking points to talk about so I can sit here and talk to you guys about some things. But so the diet, as far as that goes, I've been eating probably between 2,500 and 3,000 when I'm really trying to keep it between 1,800 and 2,000. If I keep my calories in that area, I will lose around a pound a week, maybe 1.5, possibly 2. Like, it's been so long since I've been able to completely stick to that I can't really give you reliable data. And that's something that's important. So whether you're trying to cut down, gain, bulk, you have to count those calories. You have to hit your protein. The best way to count your calories is having a food scale. If you haven't had one, it sounds kind of silly, but weighing your food, it can feel like a little bit of a task at first, but once you start doing it more often, it's really not that big of a deal. Like measuring stuff like your olive oil and the little things, the sauces you're putting on your food, all this stuff adds up. So if you're not losing weight and you're trying to lose weight, then you really have to use that food scale. I was making some potatoes the other day, and I was about to just dump a bunch of olive oil in it. And you don't realize how much you use until you do measure it. So I put my measuring cup on the food scale, I zeroed it out, and I poured how much I was going to put in my potatoes, and it turned out being 450 calories. You know how quickly that adds up? Like, come on, guys. Use that freaking food scale. It's going to save you so much. And it's going to make you realize just how much you're eating. Because if you're not monitoring it and you're complaining that you're not losing weight or that you're not gaining weight, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're not gaining weight, you're not eating enough. If you're not losing weight, you're eating too much. I mean, it's really that simple. And people's metabolisms are completely different. I understand that. But if you're not measuring what you're doing, then it's going to be very freaking difficult for you to really figure out what's going on. So that's going to go a long way when you're trying to lose that weight. But just pulled up to the gym. Pull forward a little bit. Just pulled up to the gym. I'm going to go in there and kill chest. So let's just get in there and make it happen. All right, after sufficiently warming up my rotator cuff, so I'll record my rotator cuff warm up at some point, but I just use one of those bands and I do a couple movements. I do 5 on each side in both movements, and I go back and forth about 3 or 4 times to get my rotator cuff ready. And before my working set, I started with 25 pounds on here, and then 45, and then a 45 and a 25, and then I did a couple reps with 2 45-pound plates on each side, and that felt good for a working weight. So I think it's important to note that warming up is going to really, really help you. It's going to help you see if your body's ready for the weight ahead. It's going to help you find your working weight, and I just can't say it enough about how important it is to warm up. So I started off with the supine press, the machine press right here. This one is pretty beneficial to me because I have a lot of shoulder issues, my own doing, and I know you probably get tired of hearing me talk about that, but this is the entire reason I use this machine, is it keeps my shoulders and my elbows kind of tight, but I also feel my chest engaging a lot throughout the entire movement. I am enjoying, I usually start with the cable press, but I'm enjoying starting with this one because it just feels like a better start. Also, it seems like a popular machine in the gym, and if it's open, I'm probably going to take it if it's chest day. I was initially going to just do 3 sets, but I ended up doing 4 sets because somebody was taking the cables I wanted to use, and they were still on it after 4 sets, so I didn't want to just sit here and do this one all day. So the first 3 sets was 2 45-pounders on each side. I was starting to get pretty fatigued, but I was going to do another set, so I ended up dropping it down to a 45 and a 25 on each side. And that was a good call, because once I started this last set here in a second, I got fatigued pretty quick. So I would have only been able to do 4 or 5, I'd say 4 or 5 reps. And I wanted to be able to do a little bit more. Maybe it's a mental thing, but this is definitely a solid starter for my chest. I am considering doing some heavy bench press, and I know I talked about it a little bit, that I was going to possibly do some today, but I just wasn't feeling it. This is what I wanted to do. So I couldn't do cable presses, but there were 2 cables open, so I decided to do some cable flies. And I do like the chest engagement I get when I do cable flies, but my only thing is my shoulders. I'm telling you, anytime I do this movement, and as you can see, I'm not stretching too far or anything, but it tends to aggravate my shoulder a little bit. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I will do it from time to time, because it definitely feels really good on my chest. And if you do have healthy shoulders, absolutely do cable flies. It's a pretty good stretch-based movement, because the first one, the machine press, bench press like that, is more of a tension-based movement, meaning that heavier weight, progressive overload, everything like that. But for me, cable flies is stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. It does feel different than doing pressing. So I think it's important to have some pressing movements, and I think it's also important to have some stretch-based movement, time under tension, things of that nature. So this was my second set. I ended up doing one more here, I believe. So I mean, my shoulder was bothering me, but not so much that I had to completely stop doing the movement. But yeah, guys, you just got to keep on pushing. I think it's so important to have so many different exercises in your arsenal, because you never know how crowded the gym's going to be. In general, from what I've seen, Anytime Fitness never gets super crowded. But, I mean, there's been times I've gone in and I'm like, man, I can't even film today, because there's just so many people here, and I do like to respect everybody around me. But my chest was feeling pretty pumped at this point, and I filmed this one vertical because I think I'm going to use it to turn it into a short. I was getting ready to press, and that was only at 15 pounds. I was like, oh, that's not going to do. So I raised it up to about 40. And putting this at the end of my chest workout, it did feel really good. So, I mean, sometimes I start with it, sometimes I end with it. It really just depends on what's going on in the gym. And I think it definitely matters what exercises you start with and what you end with. I think tension-based movements are good to finish with, but they're also good to start with, because it gets you even more warmed up for heavy pressing. But if you're doing heavy pressing at the end, you're not going to be able to move as much weight. And even though I think you'll still build a lot of muscle, I guess it's really just an ego thing. We want to move as much weight as we possibly can, because it makes us feel like we're going to build more muscle. But progressive overload is definitely important. But I think as long as you're going to the gym, you're hitting every muscle group once or twice per week, you're going hard, you're relatively sticking to a diet that's catered towards your goals, I think it's going to be a big one. It's going to help out a lot. So this is set number 2. So what have we done so far? We did 4 sets of machine press. We did 3 sets of cable flies. So that was 7. And this is, set number 3 here. So I don't think I did another one after this. So that's 10 sets. I really don't think it's necessary to go in the gym and do 20 sets for a muscle group. I think 10 is kind of pushing it, to be honest. But it was feeling good, and I just wanted to keep going, get as much blood flowing to my chest as possible. Just a full stretch all the way to failure. Yeah, it felt good, didn't it? And then my pose down, also going to turn this into a short, I think. So I filmed it vertical. Chest looking good, full of blood. You can definitely see lines. If you look close enough, you can see the striations at the top of my chest. I love that so much. I think my chest is one of my strong points. My shoulders are okay. My triceps are pretty big. My biceps are starting to come in. You can, yeah, my shoulders look pretty good too. My back training has come a long way, and my posing for my back has come a long way too. I've kind of figured out how to really engage my lats when I'm doing a lat spread. But we're continuing a moderate diet, but I'm not nailing it always, and I did do my 30 minutes of cardio afterwards. Also filmed that vertical, because guess what? I'm going to turn that into a reel too. YouTube short or something. But yeah, that was it. Solid chest. All right, that's what I call a successful chest day. Solid work. Nice chest pump. Pretty cool pose down. Cardio complete. Leaving without a shoulder injury. I think we checked all the boxes there. What do you guys think? So, feeling good. What subjects do we want to talk about today? What do we want to talk about today? So this is my problem, is when I talk before I go to the gym, and then I do my commentary for my workout, the post-work car talk, I'm open to suggestions about what I should talk about. I mean, I can talk about the rest of my day. So I'm going to go do a little bit of Walmart Spark to make some extra money. Got to make sure I have that money to stick to my diet. My diet right now is, I'm back and forth. Like, I think I went too far into a calorie deficit when I did my 30-day shred. I lost a lot of weight really fast, and that was beneficial. But I do want to kind of move the needle as slow as I can, but effectively as I can, like half a pound to a pound of body fat a week. And I just got to find that groove. And that groove is somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories. So if I stay between there and I'm getting my 150 to 180 grams of protein, I'm making sure I'm getting enough carbs and fats, I think my body weight will slowly drop. So that's the goal right now. And the way I'm going to get there is I have quite a few meals that I jump between. And you know, I have, in my head, I have the perfect meal, I have a great meal, I have a good meal, and I have an okay meal. And I always want to have that perfect meal, but that's not always feasible. So that's why I have all these backups. And I think for me, that's the style of dieting that's going to work. That's what's going to get me to where I want to be. And I think it's important that you find something that works for you, because the diet is a huge part of this. It's such a big part of it. Maybe this is what I'll talk about after my workouts, is the diet and motivation and all that stuff. But the diet, I'm telling you. So, I mean, I can even tell you. So, my perfect breakfast is 6 eggs with 2 rice cakes and sugar-free jelly. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes in a rush, sometimes I work early. My backup breakfast is 2 Cliff Bars. It's not as much protein, it's a little more carbs. It's about the same amount of calories, but it just doesn't fill me up the way that my primary breakfast works. So for lunch, what I like to have, the best thing I can have is potatoes, ground beef, and broccoli. That's nailing it. That's about 600 calories, 60 grams of protein. 60 to 70 grams of protein, and that's the perfect lunch for me. Same as dinner. Backup lunch, if I'm at work, is a foot-long sub. Not as great, but still good, and I also get a little more veggies. It's around 700 calories and 60 grams of protein, so it's pretty close. Then my backup to my backup is 2 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's. It's okay. It's around 900 calories, 50-ish grams of protein. So as you can see, there's a big fluctuation there, but I'm also not saying, hey, I didn't bring my lunch, so I'm gonna go have a 1,200 calorie, 40 gram protein lunch. So that's not happening. So that's why it's important for me to have backups to my backup. And, you know, we can get into the finer details, like I'll mix up my lunch sometimes. Maybe it'll be pasta, chicken, a little bit of Alfredo sauce, right in the okay range. So I have a lot of meals at my disposal. And once I'm in a rush, if I'm in a rush, microwavable rice and ground beef, 700 calories, 60 grams of protein, I'll put that in the good range. So it's not as good as my ground beef and potatoes, but it's right there to where it's something I can prepare quick, and it's going to keep me from eating a 1,200 calorie meal. So that's just the way my mind works when we're thinking about the diet aspect. And if you're already going to the gym, why would you not be nailing your diet? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But, you know, to each their own. You might be going to the gym just to try to get healthier and just lose a little bit of weight and just keep eating the same. And, you know, really, I mean, when you really think about it, that's okay too. That's okay too. So, I mean, my body weight has been fluctuating around between 175 and 180, but I've also been gaining a little bit of muscle. So you can judge your weight by the scale, or you can judge by what you see in the mirror. And what I see in the mirror is progress. So that's something that's keeping me going, even though that scale is just kind of hovering around the same weight. And I am interested in seeing if on my next chest day, I'll have to get a spotter, or just put the safeties at just the right position to see if I can hit 225 again, because my shoulders feel pretty healthy, and I felt pretty strong today doing the machine press. So it'll be interesting to see if I can move that weight. But guys, if you're just starting out, whether you're just starting out or if you're super experienced, I think it's going to go a long way if you stay consistent, if you reevaluate what you got going on, if you really, you know, just take a step back, look at your training program, look at your diet, look at your why, the reason you're doing this, have realistic goals, play the long game, not the short game. I think if you take a step back and you look at it, you evaluate what you're going on, what you're doing good, what you're doing right, you adjust, and you just keep going, and you monitor your progress, I think that's what's going to propel you to heights that you're not used to. So, you know, if you're not chasing a goal or a dream and you're not pushing yourself really hard, and you're kind of turned off by the amount of time it's going to take to get there, well, I hate to break it to you. Whether you're chasing that goal or not, whether you're pushing yourself or not, time is going to pass anyway. So if you're going to go after it, and even if you don't get it, you are going to be better than you are right now. So that time is going to pass regardless. So you might as well chase something. So get off your butt, get after it. Don't let that dreamer die. Keep the grind alive and never give up on yourself. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.